That's what's funny about these psychopathic narcissists. They end up helping you. They help boost your career sometimes. They help turn you into your best version, to a stronger version, to a more confident version. And they can't stand that. They can't stand that because they end up in jail. They end up ruining their life. They threaten to ruin yours, okay? And temporarily, it seems or it feels like they do, but they're the ones that get What is going on, warriors? Welcome back to another exquisite episode of Psychopath Exposure. I'm your host, Kira. And I wanted to talk about how these psychopath, narcissistic bullies and the threats that they make when you try to get away from them. This in particular, well, this could happen to both men and women, but it seems more common amongst women that are trying to get away from their narcissistic abuser, from their bullies, from their psychopaths that are pretty much making it impossible to live and to do your day-to-days. Because let's face it, guys, no matter how much crap we all go through, and believe me, we're all going through stuff. Everybody is going through something, okay? And at the end of the day, you still got to go to work. You still got to pay the bills. You still got to put food on the table. You still got to eat. You still got to sleep. You got to function as a member of society. And at the end of the day, man, nobody really cares what you're going through because they're going through their own stuff too. So when you're entangled with somebody, a psychopath, a sociopath, a narcissist, a bully, a toxic person that time and time again has just made your life a shithole, right? Let's just be real. You come to wonder, well, you're trying to get away from them. And I mean, if they treat you so bad, wouldn't they be happy that you're leaving? Because it sounds like they don't want you anyway. They don't want you anyway because they treat you like shit. So wouldn't they be happy that you're taking the liberty of getting away, of leaving, of saying, hey, you know what, fine, you don't want me, I'm gone, right? Because apparently they're not strong enough to do it. They just rather push you around, but they don't walk away. Then when you try to walk away, they don't let you go. So someone left a comment here a few days ago, and it's kind of like a success story, but it has some shit in there I want you guys to pay attention to, because this is the pattern that these psychos all follow. And then when you realize that it's a pattern, that's the best thing. When you realize that mental disorder, mental illness has patterns, then you can start to heal, because you realize, hey, wait a second. This wasn't just this guy or this girl and they just got angry and maybe they did something and this is not the norm and maybe I'm overreacting. No, when you realize that there's patterns and there's patterns to this shit, and the victims that came before you also notice those patterns, that tells you that the victims that are going to come after you, because believe me, you're not the last one, those same patterns will also apply. So Katie Wu goes, I'm 185 days free of him, and his bullying would start when I was trying to get away from him. He would threaten to post private pictures online and send them to my family. I eventually got sick of the threats and told him to do his worst. After all, who would really care about one more pair of boobs online? I'm a self-employed author, so I can't get fired. And I work under a pen name, so who would care? You know, if anything, the extra pair of boobs online, if it gets back to you, it's only going to make you more famous. So he's doing you a favor. Anyway, well, I vented on Twitter back in 2023 and got contacted by an unexpected person, his ex-wife. Turns out during their divorce, he threatened to post their sex tape online and then threatened to send it to her family. He was a practiced bully, and he had form for it. He threatened to either leak pictures or suicide, and he tried both tactics with me. The suicide threat made me call the police, so I had it on record. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic and low of him. Like, only a little bitch would threaten suicide like that after they're clearly abusing you and they're threatening to dox you, to expose you, to leak intimate photos and videos of you. That's a little bitch that would do that. So good for you for moving on. Good for you for walking away. Good for you for saying, hey, you know what? Do your worst. Do your worst, right? I'll deal with it. Because that's basically how it goes, right? You can't allow your brain to keep you hostage or to hold you hostage or to be a prisoner of your own fear. Okay, that's what bullies do. Bullies will threaten. They will tell you they're going to do all these things to you. A lot of times they try to do those things. And yeah, sometimes they do them, but it's always worse in your head. It's always worse when you live with the fear of what if they do this? What are they doing right now? But you know what? Fuck it. It's like, do your worst, man. Send the sex tape out. Send it to my family. They're not going to give a fuck. It's only going to prove how much of a psychopath you really are, okay? It's going to prove how deranged and demented you are. And if it, obviously, something like this, you could file charges. Okay, I worked with a survivor a couple of years ago, and he had leaked a sex tape and send it to her company and yada yada yada, and he was convicted. He was convicted of the crimes. She even sent me the case number and all the stuff so I could follow up, and they convicted him. So look, you have probably more than enough evidence, and if he's making those threats, it's like, have at it, buddy. Go ahead, do your worst. Start collecting the evidence. When you get all these threats, start taking screenshots, okay? Start building a case. Start building a case, because these deranged, psychopathic motherfuckers think they're untouchable, okay? They think they're untouchable. And when they realize that they're facing jail time, then they start to cry and they start to bitch out. They start to beg you, oh, please drop the charges. I promise I'll leave you alone. The minute you do that, they come back 50 times harder, okay? You were lucky that the ex-wife contacted you. She actually gave you a little bit of closure. She gave you a little bit, it opened your eyes onto the truth. You realize, hey, wait a second. This guy is a seasoned psychopath bully. This guy has done this before. I tell a lot of people that I work with on my coaching program, I'm like, hey, listen, do not think that you're the first one. And do not think that you're the last one. If you think that your narcissist abuser is going to walk into the sunset with their new supply and get married and live happily ever after, you don't understand how this disorder works, okay? And I definitely do not advise for survivors of narcissistic abuse to contact the new supply. Definitely don't do that, because more often than not, the new supply has been brainwashed into believing that you are the narcissist or that you are the psychopath, that you are the one that drove them to madness, okay? And the new supply is brainwashed and conditioned to hate you, and a lot of times they'll come after you to try to ruin you too, because they're under the spell. So do not do that. But if you are blessed, okay, like in this case, if you are blessed where the ex contacts you, which again, you still shouldn't speak with them, all right? You don't want to bring that into your life. But in this case, it turned out to be helpful. That's a rare thing, but it did turn out to be helpful. And she showed you and told you basically everything that he was doing to her. And you realize, hey, that's exactly what he was doing to me. That's exactly what he was doing to me. So the stories matched, okay? And hopefully, I'm assuming this gave you a little bit of closure. I'm assuming this gave you a little bit of confidence moving forward, right? To continue to do what it is that you do, to continue to live your purpose, to continue to move forward in your life, in your mission, on your mission, okay? To start looking ahead and not worrying about this piece of shit might be doing. Because only a piece of shit would make threats like that, okay? Only a bigger piece of shit would actually go through with it. And you know what? Welcome to the internet. There's shit about everybody on the internet. There always will be, no matter how much you try. Okay, we're all being watched now. There's cameras everywhere. Everything you say is recorded, is scrutinized. It's the world that we're living in right now, you know? And people are desensitized. Like she said, who's really going to care about another pair of boobs online? Really? If it does come across the eyes of somebody, they're just going to swipe just as fast as you swipe when you're sitting in the toilet going through your feed. They're going to swipe just as fast. People are so desensitized to shit like that already. It's not going to matter. No one's going to care. It's not going to tarnish your reputation. If anything, in your case, hey, it might even get some more eyeballs onto the work that you do. So he's doing you a favor. That's what's funny about these psychopathic narcissists. They end up helping you. They help boost your career sometimes. They help turn you into your best version, to a stronger version, to a more confident version. And they can't stand that. They can't stand that because they end up in jail. They end up ruining their life. They threaten to ruin yours, okay? And temporarily, it seems or it feels like they do, but they're the ones that get fucked. They're the ones that get fucked, okay? So you keep doing you. Thanks for sending that in. I appreciate it. It's reality. I encourage more of you to leave comments like that. I know you're not the first one that has discovered that the same patterns you noticed are the same patterns that someone else was going through. Because sometimes these assholes, they tell you, they project the shit. And you're like, wait a second, the shit you're telling me about your ex is the same thing you're doing to me. That's interesting. That's interesting, which is right, you know. And hopefully by now, if you've been watching this channel, educating yourself on NPD, on narcissist personality disorder, you start to realize that once you notice those similarities, you can bet your hat that they were just projecting that onto you, okay? And it's not that they went through that. No, that's what they put their ex through, okay? And then you look back and you realize, when I met this person, they were behaving this way, and then they changed and they started love bombing me, and they were just putting me on a pedestal, yada yada yada. But then they start doing the same thing that they told me that their ex did. Oh, isn't that funny? You know? And a lot of times the truth just reveals itself to you without you even trying. Okay? So hope you guys learned something from this. Share below in the comments if you went through a situation where you did have the psychopath narcissist ex contact you and detail the same patterns that you were going through. How did it feel? How did it feel to get that validation from someone that you didn't even know, from someone that you were pulling your hair out trying to figure out if maybe you were the bad one? How did it feel when that person just showed up and told you, yep, this is what this predator did? And I took them to court, and I was going through all these legal battles, and I went through this and I went through that. How did that feel? Okay, share with the community below in the comments. Let me know. And if you got some value out of the video, guys, smash that like button. And I do have links in the description for my coaching program. If you're interested in working with me privately, I have a one-on-one coaching program, and I can help walk you guys through this nightmare that unfortunately seems to be a shared nightmare amongst many people nowadays. Okay, so more information on that. I do have merch below. I do have an ebook on the no contact, 5 rules of going no contact with your psychopath narcissist. And just gonna stop ranting for now. Let you guys go live your life. Hope you're having an epic day. My name is Kira with Psychopath Exposure. Catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Peace.